So we're going to be dealing with some real cold weather today. Water temps, surprisingly, I bet would still be up in the upper 40s, maybe even low 50-degree range because it's been so warm here lately. But this next whole week is supposed to be in the 30s and upper 20s. So it's going to get really cold. This water is going to cool down really fast and potentially might even be my last trip. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling. Whew. We're on the lake now, obviously. But if you guys can't see behind me, it's still snowing out. This is the time of the day that you want to be out there and you want to be fishing and you want to be checking stuff, moving around, really optimizing your time on the water. So I'm going to stop talking. There's small bite windows in the morning you got to take advantage of, especially when you have a front pushing through. We're going to try to make hay while the getting is good, hopefully catch some fish quick, and then we'll slow down, settle in, and start to look around and kind of dial in what the pattern is. Kind of the key here is going to be fishing off of the break on those deeper flats where there's hard bottom, and hopefully that's where the smallmouth will be setting up. We'll be trying to figure it out. I've only been here 2 or 3 times, never this time of year, but I know there's big smallies in here, so let's see if we can't put one in the boat. Let's go. Little smallie. First one of the day. Finesse jig. I know there's a lot out here. It's just a matter of getting them to go. Thanks, bud. I don't even think it's going to be that hard. One of the weird things is that it's 47-degree water. So like, it's perfect temperature to be doing this. It's just getting out of my own head and really getting comfortable with what's going on out here to catch them. There's one. Oh, might be better. That's a better fish. It's a large one. There we go. That's a better one. And he inhaled it. He ate it really good. It's not a matter of them not wanting to eat. Thanks, buddy. Not a giant, not even the size we're looking for, but it's 2 fish in like 10 minutes of being out here, which is, if you ask me, a pretty dang good start. There's an old pot of fish there. I think they're all largemouth. Nope. Thank you. Water is so much warmer than the air. It's another nice fish. It's like a school of 10 of them. Literally, as that break crests, it starts to flatten out. There's a little spot that's harder than the rest around it. That's where these fish are hanging out. So what I'm looking at right here is you have a break, and right at the bottom of that break there's a little hard spot, and you got a fish there, you got another fish there. There's a few more fish hanging out right here off that break where it starts to flatten out. There's a little spot that's harder than the rest around it, sort of at the base inside turn here where that contour line starts to spread out. That's where these fish are hanging. This is typically what I'm looking for this time of year. Like I said, water temp is 47 degrees. It's not that cold. This is a place where these fish can still eat and hang out and sit on that hard spot and just wait for, you know, bait or crawfish or forage to come by. So I'm throwing that little finesse jig in there. That's what I'm catching them. Oh, that's a better smallie. There's so many fish right there. I just don't know. There we go. It's a nice smallmouth. How pretty that fish is too. What awesome color on that fish. Super, super bronze. Not a massive fish, but just super pretty. Thanks, buddy. I recently made a video talking all about finesse jigs, and this is one that I homemade with the Do It Molds swing head finesse, and then there's a little Maxcent trailer on the back, Little Trooper. Now there's the deal, the living rubber. I'm a big fan of that living rubber, especially when it gets really cold. So I tied a little bit of that on the back, super, you know, finesse style tie with just a half of a tab of that flat living rubber, and that's what I've been catching all these fish on. I don't think it's hard. I just think the biggest thing is going to be locating, you know, that better caliber fish. And this is the time of year where you're obviously having fish mix by species and maybe even mix by size. So I just kind of got to weed through these fish. Super predictable area, that hard spot at the base of a drop off, and that's where these fish are hanging out. It's my goal today. Let's kind of break down a new lake and catch like a 4 or 5 pounder. So thanks, fish. Man, I'm not gonna lie, I saw that one on Panoptix and he just ate it so funny. Like I had to fish him all the way back to the boat. It's like he saw it fall, but he wanted it on the fall. It was very odd the way that fish ate that bait. There were a couple other fish following him though. Whew, weird. He followed it forever. Whew. Okay, I've been out here for about 2.5 hours, and the bite actually is pretty good, especially for a largemouth body of water where the water temps are falling. But this is what's really odd about this place right now. Is as cold as it is outside, the water is still about 46, 47 degrees. By my standards, that's actually pretty warm. Like, I don't consider late fall, early winter fishing until that water temp is low 40s, upper 30-degree water temps. These fish are still relatively active. I'll watch them chase my bait down to the bottom. I'll watch them come get nose down on it. I'll watch them get really active on that bait. It just is kind of tough to get them to go. They're acting a little bit funny, but for the most part, the bite is pretty good. I got in that little flurry early, and then I decided to go check out some water back in one of the creeks, but the main lake really seems to be where it's at, especially off those breaks on those first flats. But so far, it's been a pretty decent day. Let's keep it on roll and let's get going. What is that? It's big, whatever it is. What is it? It's a largemouth? There we go. This is a nice largemouth. Whew. Man, they're biting that thing so funny. They're biting that thing so funny. What a pretty largemouth, though. Oh, and someone put a call tag hole in this one. Man, that's ridiculous. Why are you putting a call tag hole in a 3-pounder? In Michigan, a 3-pounder is like gold. Why are you putting a big call tag hole all over the bottom of his jaw? Man, they're biting that jig so funny, man. I had him following a jerkbait earlier. I was throwing a jerkbait, kind of live scoping him, but I just couldn't get him to actually commit to it. This jig, at least I'm still getting some bites. Switched over to the bait caster. I just have a little bit more control over the jig once those fish do bite it. So it's kind of my thought process, but kind of see. We'll play around with both and see which one I end up with. We ran into an issue, and one thing that's going to come up, especially when you're fishing cold weather, is issues. My trolling motor sticks on. When you hit the trolling motor, like one of the springs isn't working or whatever, and the trolling motor pedal just stays going. So that's kind of hard, especially when you're using live scope a decent bit, but kind of what I think I'm going to do is use the remote to basically control on off, and then I'll just steer the direction of the trolling motor with the pedal. And that's just kind of one of those things that happens when it gets cold, I guess, but I'll fix that. That was deep. It's in 28 foot of water. It's either a smallmouth or a walleye. I can't tell what that is. Big. My trolling motor is giving me fits though. A 4-pounder. Whew. That's a big one. Big largemouth. Big, cold largemouth. Look how big that fish is. It's got a big head. Massive head. Pretty fat. Wow, what a pretty fish. Can't gauge largemouth anymore. Yeah, it's a 4 1/4. That's a big largemouth. Wow, thanks, fish. Wow, thanks, buddy. Look how big that fish's mouth is. That's awesome. That's such a nice largemouth. Whew, what a beautiful fish. Look how slow and lethargic that one is. Look at him, just chilling. Bye, bud. I really thought there was no chance of that being a largemouth out here in 20 foot of water. And that's a big largemouth though. 4-pounder in Michigan is a big largemouth, so that's a pretty cool catch. There's one. There you go. Man, maybe this deep bite's where it's at. That's another 4. Oh, that's another 4-pounder. Huh. Huh. Interesting. I'll stay out deep if that means I get to catch big ones. Yeah. Yeah. That fish ate that bait before it even hit bottom. Huh. Big one's out deep. Who'd have thought? 45-degree water. It almost like it makes too much sense. Oh man, that's cool. That was another largemouth too. That's last fish is definitely the deepest I've ever caught a largemouth. 27 foot of water. Ain't gonna get a very good hook into him either. That's probably why. That's a 4 or 5 pounder. Dang it. Another big one. It's a deep thing. I'm just gonna stay out deep the rest of the day. It's another 2.5, 3-pounder. Came off in the net. Thanks, fish. It's so cold that these fish don't know what to do. What if they eat? I'm good with that. There we go. Oh. Another really nice one. Out deep, they're definitely better than those ones, even moderately shallow. I was catching the ones earlier in like 12 foot. Oh, here in 20 plus, I'm in 27 right now. And I mean, it's not a giant, but it's better than those shallow ones. There's one. My rod's all icing up. I can't hardly reel. It's a big smallmouth too. Thank you. Whew. Dude, what a mess. The rod, everything's icing up. Oh, shoot. It's a nice smallmouth. You guys might have heard it when that was coming through the guides. My knot got stuck. It's a 3-pounder. Bye. Everything is froze. All my guides are freezing. It's like 32 degrees outside right now. Catch a big fish. There's just these isolated fish out here. Other than that one pod I found this morning, it's just been onesie twosie sort of fish, hoping that one of them will eventually bite. There we go. Oh, we got a good hook in this fish. It's a nice largemouth. big key again is just finding those dark spots or those hard spots on bottom, and it's just like a rate of return that these fish are hanging on. It's nothing crazy either. It's just you go down and you see it on your graph, whether it's your 2D, you could see it. I'm using my live scope, and there's just, you know, 1 or 2 fish sitting on it. There's another one out there, but they're just kind of eating it funny. They're not getting it great, I'll be honest, but it's been a lot better than I expected it to be. I just thought there were smallmouth in here. I thought there were big smallmouth in here. Don't come off. Big smallmouth. Oh, do not come on. Oh, dude. Heck yeah. And with that, I can probably end this video. I was idling around to try and get some B-roll footage and show you guys the stuff on the graphs and what I'm looking for, and pulled up to one of those hard spots. Look at how fat this fish is. Beautiful smallmouth, maybe 4 pounds. 403. Last cast 4-pounder. Big beautiful smallmouth. Here's a quick close-up on the bait that I used basically the rest of the day. I broke off that one jig, or I basically just bent it out. So I switched, again, Beast Coast finesse jig, 1/2 ounce. And then this is the Rusty Craw Little General. Same rod that I mentioned in the video. It's a TFO Resolve 7.3 medium light plus, 15 braid, 10-pound or 8-pound fluorocarbon line, and that's the deal. There's not much better way to end the day than on a 4-pound smallie. Basically, I was idling around to show you guys what I was looking for on the graph. I found a piece of isolated cover, basically a big laydown that was coming up in about 15 foot of water. Scoped over to it, cast that little Ned rig bait, that finesse jig over there. Fell past the fish, down to the bottom. Fish came down, picked it up. That's the end of the story. But it was an awesome day, man. I ended up staying on one lake the entire time. I caught that 4 1/4 largemouth. I lost one probably bigger right after I caught that largemouth. Caught that 4-pound smallmouth, as well as a couple other really nice fish to go with it, 3.5 pounders. So really, really good day. Just stayed out here all day. I started figuring this place out and was like, why would I leave to go somewhere else? Look at this. There's fish right there. I'm gonna get bit. My reel's all backlashed. There's that big log I was telling you guys about. There's a bunch of fish all over it. Oh my gosh! I was just reeling it in. Oh my god, that's a big smallie. Shit. Look at them all. Oh my god. I just grabbed a rod off the deck of the boat. I mean, it had a Ned rig on it, but I was not expecting that fish to bite, if I'm being honest. I was trying to reel the bait in. There's another one. Oh my gosh. Might not be the end of the day, guys. I'll put the net away again. Come here. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Gotta get that down there. It's another 4-pounder. Thank you. Oh, holy smokes. There's them all over down there. Look at them all. Look at them all. They're still there. There's more by that pole again. I just put everything away. Wow, okay. That was an incredible ending. Now, cue the outro. So if you guys want a more in-depth look at why I'm throwing that finesse jig instead of a Ned rig, click this video right here. As always, all the products are going to be linked down in the description below for you guys. If you aren't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. Take care, Ted Lyons. God bless. Pursue your passion.